Sometimes you'll be listening to someone and you'll be doing a great job reflective listening, and you'll be doing a great job validating, and you'll be creating connection. But there is a moment where you think to yourself, listening and validating here just isn't enough. That there's something in you that wants to help out. Maybe they're sharing a practical problem and you have a solution to that practical problem. Maybe they're sharing a deep fear and there's a thought occurs to you that could help alleviate that fear. Maybe they're talking about some really intense emotional pain, and there's something in you that wants to help solve that problem and take away that pain, and listening and validating just doesn't seem like it's enough. And while wanting to help is not necessarily a bad thing, the way you offer to help can make all the difference between pushing people away or drawing them in to closer connection. Hi everybody, I'm Greg from Heart Tools, where we make it simple to build great relationships. Now here's the question: why would anyone ever get upset that you want to help them out? Well, it turns out there are 3 reasons why offering to help may push someone away rather than drawing them closer. The first reason is this: when you share a problem with someone, you're at one level of intimacy. But if you were to ask for help from them, that's a little bit more risky, that's a little bit more vulnerable, and that's a different level of intimacy. And that's why sometimes you may have noticed that when you're having a great conversation and then you offer some advice, when you recommend something, when you try to fix the person, they sort of clam up a little bit and close down because you've just pushed the conversation to a level of intimacy that they didn't want to go to. And in healthy relationships, one of the keys is the speaker, not the listener, sets the level of self-disclosure. The second reason why offering to help can push people away or shut them down is it can come across as very condescending. After all, you just shared with me this real problem that you've been struggling with for maybe the last 10 days, maybe the last 10 weeks, maybe the last 10 years, right? And it's a complex problem and it's a difficult problem to solve, and you're sharing it with me because you just want me to understand you and know you and feel connected to you. And this problem that you've been struggling with for 10 years, I've listened for 3 minutes and I have the solution. Right? Hey, pray this prayer, read this book, do this thing, and that problem will go away. And it can come across as very condescending and give the idea that if only you were as smart as me, if only you were as spiritual as me, if only you were as healthy as me or put together with me, this wouldn't have been a problem, right? Because I just solved it in 3 seconds. And it can create also kind of a one-up, one-down relationship where I'm the strong, smart person who has it all together, knows how to live life, and you're kind of the weak person who can't think through things, can't solve problems, who can barely get out of bed and tie your shoes without my help. When that fixing happens often, it creates this one-up, one-down relationship that is very off-putting for people. And here's the third reason why offering to help can sometimes create distance and shut people down. And that is because offering to help can actually be a way of keeping strong emotions at a distance. Sometimes someone is sharing, and they're sharing a level of pain or a type of pain or pain around a problem that we're just not comfortable with. I don't want to go there with you. I don't want to empathize with that pain. I don't want you to have that pain. And so I can stay on the head level and fix the problem, and I don't have to connect with you at your level of pain. And although people won't always be able to verbalize what's going on inside of them, they can sense that that's what you're doing. They can sense that they're being shut down and not taken seriously. And so offering to help in that instance actually creates distance between you and the person you're listening to. And yet, that still leaves us with our original problem, which is this: there are times where you're going to be doing a great job listening to someone. You'll be doing a great job empathizing, a great job validating, and you're creating real connection with them. And yet there's something inside of you that says, this is not enough. If I'm going to be a great friend here, I need to be able to help this person. Well, fortunately, there is a simple sentence that you can practice using in those situations that will help create connection without pushing someone away. And the simple sentence is this: is there any way that I can be helpful to you? Right? Something like that. Is there any way I can be a support in this time? Is there anything I can be doing for you to help in this situation? And I would suggest using that "is there any way" phrase first, and don't just say, "how can I be helpful?" Because if you say, "how can I be helpful?" it assumes that that person is looking for your help. It assumes they want the conversation to go to a deeper level of intimacy, which you don't know, right? And so say, "is there any way that I can be helpful to you?" and let that person decide whether or not they want to ask you for help and what kind of help they want to ask from you. That simple sentence, "is there any way I can be helpful to you?" will communicate three things. The first thing is that it will communicate, "I'm willing to help. I care, I'm available, I'm willing to help if you want help." The second thing it communicates is, "I take you seriously. Your problems are real problems, they're complex problems, and I'm not going to presume to give you a simple fix and solve your problem in 3 minutes." And the third thing it communicates is that you are a strong, powerful adult. You're in charge of your life. You're smart enough to figure out who you want help from, and you're smart enough to figure out what kind of help you want from them. And I'm just going to let you be powerful. Those are three great things to communicate that go a long way to building trust and respect in a healthy relationship. Now, let me say real quickly that I'm speaking here about adult-to-adult relationships. Obviously, if you're a parent and you have a young child in the home, you don't want to wait all the time for them to ask for help. When they're very young, they can't even speak, and it's your job to notice what their problems are and to solve their problems. Later on in life, it's your job to give them options for solving their problem. But still later in life, it's your job to teach them how to ask for help to solve their problems. And you want to get to the point where they're strong, powerful, young adults, and then it's an adult-to-adult relationship. One of the biggest problems that I see parents make is that their kids become adults and they don't use this phrase, "is there any way I can be helpful?" And they still think it's their job to solve their kid's problem, to give advice without it being asked for, and it tends to push kids away. So pay attention to that. So this week, as you practice listening with empathy and as you practice validating, practice also paying attention to when that desire to fix pops up, when that desire to give advice, when that impulse to help pops up, and practice just using the simple sentence, "is there any way I can be helpful?" and let the other person decide if they want help and what kind of help they want. That simple step can go a long way in creating healthier, more life-giving relationships for you. Simple steps, practice, practice, practice. That's what Heart Tools is all about.